right, good evening and welcome to your favorite late night show on television at the moment, Duvet on GHOne TV. It's another very beautiful Saturday night, and I do hope that you're staying with us throughout the entire show. My name is Natalia. Yes, I am Natalia. Remember, we're live on Star 103.5 FM. Also, we're live on all our social media platforms, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook. We're streaming live, so be sure to like, share, comment. Tonight, we're talking about what perfect sex is, if there's such a thing. So what makes for a beautiful sexual experience? And I have seasoned radio personality Jay Foley in the studio with me. He has a lot of experience to share, trust me. I also have Miss Afi Antonio, philanthropist, media personality. She wears so many different hats. But tonight, she's a sex expert. Anna. I know. And then I also have GHOne Michael, who is a social work consultant in the studio with me. Tonight, you're /sex expert. It works. As requested. Okay, so tonight we're talking about what perfect sex is, if there is such a thing. I don't believe in perfection, but we can get very, very close. Now, before we break it down, let me ask you, Jay Foley, I'll start with you.
Well, I thought the ladies were supposed to begin.
No, let me start with you.
Well, ladies
First of who starts, who initiates?
No, what does pleasure mean to you?
Pleasure?
Yes.
In which context?
In any context.
For me, it's reaching a certain level of satisfaction that, let me just end it there. Reaching a certain level of satisfaction, that is pleasure for me. So cutting across in terms of maybe pleasure with travel destination, it has to give me a certain sense of fulfillment. In terms of financial obligations, pleasure in there might be attaining a certain level of income that makes me comfortable.
Okay.
So dovetailing into our context of conversation of intimacy, then pleasure will mean that hitting a certain note that is an undescribable feeling that you can't compare with an apple and orange.
Okay, so clearly not an apples and oranges conversation. Afi, what does pleasure mean to you?
Well, I think Jay has expressed exactly what I would explain that. So it should be, we all have expectations. So whatever expectations I have in terms of whether intimacy, whatever it is, you should be able to, make me attain that what I'm, expecting. So when it comes to sex, pleasure, I need to, enjoy what you are doing to my body and all that. I need to get everything, Everything.
Keyword.
Everything.
Everything.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
GHOne Michael, what does pleasure mean to you?
I feel pleasure to me is directly tied to the thrill.
Okay.
I like risk. I like thrills. I like exciting things, and so exciting things pleasure me. Things with a high risk element pleasure me. Things that get that. I'm an adrenaline junkie, and so anything that gets my adrenaline rushing is a potential pleasure too.
Living on the edge.
Living on the edge.
The BD.
I thought about that once, but I realized the whole 50 Shades level of pleasure is not
Christian
my thing.
Grey
I don't
is
like pain.
Okay.
I don't like pain.
You don't like pain.
So, and I also don't like inflicting pain on others. So the whole concept of pain doesn't work with pleasure.
Okay.
Mine is the thrill.
This is the edge. This is GHOne Michael.
Yes. Yes.
That's it for you.
Plus,
you feel like is he gonna fall? Is he gonna fall? No, he doesn't fall. Yeah, that's it for you.
It's also, for me, it goes beyond that. It also goes to that point of, like, me being an alpha is me dominating, yes, but also being able to pleasure another person pleasures me. So if I'm able to get a person to attain satisfaction, I feel like I'm God. You know what I mean?
Okay, so now let me come back to orgasm for a lot of people comes in different forms. Typically, we're expecting it to be, you know, that feeling that you cannot describe with words, that you feel during intimacy, during sex, that, you know, just takes you all the way. But some people have said that they orgasm through other ways and other means other than sex. You know, I for one have said that food gives you better orgasm. Like, sometimes there are certain foods that when you eat them, you're like, oh my God, it's nothing better in the world. But that's just me.
Yeah, I mean, it was just surprising number of people who are just walking in town and attaining settle of,
Can you imagine?
reaching
Can you
orgasm
imagine?
just by something. You have no idea. You're
Yes,
probably
yes.
in an office space thinking you're having this conference meeting and someone is there and just hair. It's just.
But tell me something. Now you brought my mind to this. So I do know that there are some people who have said that in the middle of sex, they are usually not thinking about the person they are with, but their minds are all the way in certain places. Sometimes not thinking about another human being, but their minds are in certain different places just to heighten the pleasure for them. Is that something you've heard before?
Yes, I mean, not that somebody that I'm with is telling me that, but these are things that, you know, I always say that sex is spiritual. Sex is not one thing that necessarily doesn't feed the food feeds the body. Sex feeds the soul. And it's just like how music feeds the soul, it says food for the soul. You can't tell exactly how the song is putting a certain mood, but it sure is controlling how you feel. It's similar to sex, you know, and you would, it's how people's minds run wild. You know, it's just only one point in time in your whole entire life that very minute allows you to be as free as possible. Do anything with your mind that helps you to reach that satisfaction that you're looking for.
Right.
So for somebody to see another person in pain, for somebody to, it's the way you are talking. For someone, it's the way you look. It's for someone, it's what you say. For someone, it's so many, you know, different things.
Right.
And that's how come it's so crazy, because when people tell you what turns them on or what helps them, reach certain sexual or, you know, heights, it will just simply amaze you, because there are no limits when it comes to feeding the spirit. You know, it's grab anything that is not physical, that will help you get there, and you get there. So people have got crazy stories. So I do believe that, you know, what you were saying.
Crazy fetishes.
But I tend to think if a person's mind needs to go somewhere in order to be pleasured by what you're doing, then there's something wrong potentially, because I feel in the process of having sex, it's letting go of everything and being in the moment with the person you're with. But if in that moment with that person you need to think of something else or someone else, or be in another place in order for you to be pleasured, then there's a problem, and that isn't very normal to me. Yeah.
They say that, who are you to judge what the other person finds exciting?
People.
No, it's not about what they find exciting. I get that people have fetishes, but I also feel that if the person that you're having sex with cannot dominate you or occupy you enough to be there in that moment with them, and you need to travel somewhere, whether mentally or psychologically, however you go, if your mind has to be somewhere in order to feel the pleasure of that moment.
Clearly not something that they would tell you. These are conversations that they have with other people you may never know. But it's something that people do a lot. Afi, do you know of any fetishes that people...
Well, are you asking to listen to
I've
some
heard,
people that
no. I've heard some very weird ones, like very weird ones. People get off on some crazy things. But tell me some of the ones you've heard.
Well, I know of the foot. I
Okay.
think I dated someone who loved
That's
the
crazy.
foot and will lick it and will,
Sucking toes.
That was my first time. I've never experienced
Did you
anything.
like it?
I felt it was some way, because I haven't gone through anything like that before,
Okay.
So like he has my foot in his mouth, and I'm in my head, I'm like, oh my God, what is this? Like, how can this be something you are okay with? Like, my toes, oh God.
Yeah. Also, I find that when it comes to sex, people are not very particular about hygiene. Because the same person who's telling you, wash your hands after you go to the washroom and do this, and is very stern when it comes to hygiene, throws it all out the window when it's time for sex.
Yes.
Because people...
Next minute they're sticking their tongue up your ass and you're wondering what's going on. You know?
And I feel as though, but why is it that way though? John Michael, tell me, why is it that when it comes to sex, it feels as though logic just leaves the room?
See, that was what I was trying to express earlier on, that in the moment of sex or in the moment of pleasure, it's about letting go of everything. So nothing matters.
Right.
Nothing matters. Like, I remember when I once watched this this advert on, was it vaginal washes and scented, and I was like, what are you on about? Like, it's meat. it's supposed to smell like pussy. Like, what do you mean? Like, why are you trying to scent up the place and everything? If I wanted a fragrance, I'd buy a fragrance. But it's not meant to smell like strawberries and all of that. But it's about being in that moment where you let go of everything. Like, you're not, at that point, you're not thinking. You're just doing. You're just going with the flow. You're letting go. Because if at any point in your sex, you have to stop to think, that is a problem. It's
that is a
letting
problem.
go. It's
that is a
freely
problem.
expressing yourself. So don't think, just go with it. Just experience it. So if you feel you've never been pleasured, sometimes try letting go. See how it goes, if you enjoy it. And sometimes it's even in the communication. Are you enjoying it? Does your partner know you are enjoying it? How are they feeling what you are doing?
People
So
don't even talk. Like,
yes,
they don't express exactly how they are feeling,
we call
even
them
when they don't like
we call
it.
them crucify me.
No, but sometimes they don't use words, but sometimes they use a lot of body
No,
language.
there are some who don't respond to either
Any form
words
of
or body language. They're like Jesus on the crucifix. They lie there. And this is
Because
it.
I feel as though sometimes it may be difficult for you to use words, but if I like what you're doing at whatever point you're at on my body, if you're moving, I'm gonna stop you. Like, stay
Okay,
here.
so in your
Stay
case,
here.
you're
And that is
reacting.
communication.
Yeah.
Yes, but you're reacting. But there are some who lie there. They may be enjoying you at some point. You can't really tell. Then at some point, they are not enjoying you. You still can't tell. The difference is sometimes she may not be enjoying you, but you are enjoying yourself.
Yeah. Right.
So because there's no response, you feel that when you are enjoying yourself, your partner is enjoying themselves too, which may be very wrong. So it will bring us to the issue of communication during sex, because
That also raises a debate which has been ongoing for, I caught it on Twitter sometime now, X, sometime, about whose responsibility is it to reach, orgasm? Is it a man's responsibility to make a woman reach orgasm? Is it her responsibility to reach there whilst I'm also trying to reach
think
it
it's
is
a
your,
teamwork.
it is, I feel, no, it's
teamwork.
not just
Teamwork.
teamwork, it is your responsibility. Like,
It's
if
a
a
man's
woman was sat on
responsibility.
me, she has control of my penis and she can do with it as she wants. Why is she trying to ask me, am I enjoying it? Like, trying to do what I want. Do what you want. The thing about our sex organs is, whatever you do to it, we're going to come at some point. If you look at it with the right kind of intensity, we could come. But like, just do your thing. We will do us. So if you want to think about me, then it means your mind isn't free. At that point where you should be enjoying yourself, you're trying to think of what I'm enjoying, and you don't have to do that.
See, whose responsibility is it now? Is it the man's
It's
responsibility?
everybody's
So, one of the
responsibility.
things
To help,
I-
is it the man's responsibility to let the woman reach sexual satisfaction, or it is her responsibility to identify within what the man offers what makes her reach that satisfaction?
The
One of
man
the
is
things-
supposed to
okay.
know what,
No.
you know.
Why should it be the man's head?
No, the man
Okay.
isn't supposed to know.
All right, let's handle this. John,
you
let's
see, the
handle
reason
this.
I want to respond to what
Right,
she just
respond.
said. You see, you can't know because there's no one cup fits all formula
No,
to
I
sex.
mean in communication. So you tell your partner.
If
this
you
what
tell
do.
them,
exactly.
yes, that is
that was what I
different.
was about
Okay.
to say. Yeah.
All right, so
if your
here's
partner
what.
knows.
The thing is that communication is such a big thing when it comes to sex.
Yeah.
the lack thereof is even bigger because people are not able to tell exactly what it is they are looking for. So they can't get it. But one of the things I've also learned is because we have that orientation where our first introduction to sex was that it's a bad thing, there are so many people who grow up, grown folk, responsible, doing their stuff, and they still have that somewhere at the back of their minds that sex is a bad thing. Like, you're grown, there's no restriction, you're married, for crying out loud. And because of that, they don't allow themselves to freely come out and let go, like you rightly said early on, that you just have to let everything go so that you can absolutely enjoy the sex. And so there's always a hold back. And some women don't know themselves. They don't even know what they like or do not like. One time I caught a lesson somewhere on YouTube about the fact that women need to touch themselves just so they're familiar with what feels good and doesn't feel good. Because what's your favorite food?
Jollof.
Jollof.
Yeah.
So if I said to you that I'm cooking, the best jollof in the world for you, I'm gonna have to ask you questions, right? Because jollof, it be more pen salt. Some want it, say insert the meat, or be per se fry the meat separately. But if I don't ask you questions, how can I make you the best jollof in the world?
So you see, hold on. This has been my personal standpoint when it comes to intimacy.
Right.
And I always say that intimacy is a journey. It's a journey. It's one of the most beautiful journeys of discovery that you can ever have on this. It's one of those things that, I mean, it plus 18. If you did it before, shouts. But it's a journey of discovery. It's one of the things that you will never ever finish learning until you go down in your grave. And it takes, during that art of sex, and I choose my words carefully, during that art of sex, not that bang and go, that art of that moment, it's the chance for you to learn and unlearn, both of you.
Yeah.
One, not dependent on the other, and two, dependent on the other. So if you are a man and you are with the woman, and I mean you have intentions of going on and on again, or even in that, when I say on and on again, I mean you engage in sex again and again. It's a chance for you to discover moments about yourself, things you like. Sometimes without even saying a word. You, the man, have to read the woman's reactions. The woman, you also have to read the man's reactions. You need to put it in your mind. Maybe when I touched her on her feet, like you said, maybe she liked it. Okay, I'll keep 2 touch on the feet in my mind. In addition to 2 touch on the feet, maybe she likes play with tingling with her belly button. So okay, so I know 2 touch on the feet and plus 1 tingly feeling on the belly button. You need to add it up to you and then just know your partner.
I know.
Yes, know your partner. And whilst your partner is working at knowing you, I mean, this was 7 minutes, right? That's a lot of things to learn in 7 minutes, But you maximum. Anybody going beyond 7 minutes, you're a pro. Pro max.
No, it's not about being a pro. Sometimes people are just
wicked.
Very wicked. You say at some point this person is going to dry up. At some point you are still going on. This is a problem.
Yeah. So it is that you need to master the art of communication, even without even speech or talking. The talking is an add-on. Then you are even lucky if the two of you are communicating and saying things to each other. But if you're not, it's the sound, it's the knee-jerk reactions, it's the
it's the move of the body
and all that.
It's how I go this way
but
or
even
come
after
this way.
all of that, the bottom line is after the sex, do you talk?
Exactly.
Do you talk? Because
usually
if you don't talk,
the woman
during the
says
sex,
that is, do you love me? And that's what the man.
Oh,
it's not that you love me conversation. It's about
No, but John Michael, is this something that people do? Do people talk after sex?
Yes.
Okay, what do
I
they
like
say?
to talk after
What do you
sex.
say?
I want to know.
What are we now?
You know, no. What are we now?
what she's asking.
So what do you talk about? I want to know.
You want to know? Did you like that? Like,
Yeah.
what did you enjoy? Not just did you like that. What did you enjoy? Because you want to build on what they enjoy you doing. And so if you can break down the different parts they enjoyed, then it is easy to fuse them together to give them an ultimate experience.
So why do people never ask, what didn't you like? I didn't like this. Or
No, it comes with it. It's a two-way conversation.
Can you be bold enough to tell a woman or a woman tell a man that I didn't like this?
I've had that.
It's not something that women do easily.
Some women find it difficult. They feel like they are hurting the guy's
Have you done it before?
Yeah, I've done it before.
You've told a man that
Oh my days.
I didn't like this.
No, not that I didn't like it.
Okay.
What I'm trying to say is some ladies find it difficult telling the men that Charlie, you know, like
Yes.
the morning and all that, I was just doing it for you.
Faking orgasm
exactly.
is something
like,
that
it's
women
so
do very
difficult
well.
for women to come out. They feel said they are hurting the guy's ego. Like, you know, so they just pretend that they like it whilst they didn't like it. I've done that before.
And how did he feel
you
about
have faked
it?
an orgasm.
Like I pretended I liked it whilst I didn't like it. I didn't.
But
Why
is it
did you
something
pretend?
that...
Was that something you
And
wanted?
that's what I'm saying. I felt
She
like
had to feed his ego
he
to
will
make
feel
him feel
some
good.
way.
Did you like him? You liked him. So you didn't want to hurt his feelings.
Yeah, kind of. That kind of thing, you know.
She liked him more and that's so hunimobo.
Oh, I guess I'm a hunimobo. Like, I feel sad. But I think it's not good. So I grew out of that. Chale, say masa.
Yes, you
know?
see, it's
Yeah,
about
I grew out
understanding
of
that
it. Yeah.
it's a two-way road, and the same way that he expects to be pleasured, you also want to be pleasured.
Yeah.
But if you're not communicating to them that they are not pleasuring you or doing it right, they're going to keep doing that,
Yeah,
and you're
the
going to
same
keep being
thing.
on the
Yeah.
losing end.
Yeah.
I keep
Yeah.
saying when you have people saying, oh, they like Kwame or they like Kwesi because he does better than this, it is because they are not communicating. Because if you are communicating to Kwame, Kwame can do you as good as Kwesi is. There are differences where maybe there's a size of penis, length, other things that factor into the equation. But in most cases, if you communicate enough, you will be able to get some degree of satisfaction.
Some people are
Absolutely.
not observant. You know, you might be even communicating through your gestures and everything,
tell
but the
them.
man will still be doing
You
the
know,
wrong
not
thing.
everybody
it
can
feels
read
as
your
though
They are not
you're
observant.
leading him towards the left, and he's insisting
Yeah,
on staying on the
because
right.
he's enjoying the right.
My
You're
point
leading
is,
him.
See, he's
You're
enjoying
leading
the right.
him.
yeah, but my point
are
is,
not
if your languages and actions didn't communicate, use your mouth. Your mouth is meant to communicate. Tell him.
You're literally telling the man, Jinaha,
for some people.
and he's insisting that he wants to...
So that's why it comes to the woman also now has to find what would make it work for her. Because you see, the thing is that at the end of the day, right? Look, there's so much responsibility on a man to make a woman reach sexual satisfaction.
Yeah.
And that is where the debate has been. That is it supposed to be my responsibility to make
No,
you?
it's
It's supposed to be good.
self-love.
It's a self-love. It's a self thing at that moment. It's what I can offer within 20 minutes or in 15 or 10 minutes and within that period. Because there was this trend on Twitter that I don't know, on TikTok, I don't know if you saw it, that do you know how difficult it is to be moving your waist like over again? Like,
I saw that.
Can you do that for
some women
3
tried it, they
minutes?
couldn't.
Try
Can you do it for 3 minutes? It's a lot of work, you know, it's energy. It's you have to be physically tough or strong to be able to do that, even psychologically, because at the point in time you ask yourself, upon all I'm doing, is she is she enjoying this?
Yeah.
Right.
And also most women, I shouldn't say all women, most women think that just because they've got a slit between their thighs, it's tasty. And that's another thing altogether for a man. Does it connect? Does what you have connect well with a man? Big question mark. Did he really enjoy you? Did he? And then that answers the question where, what was he thinking about when he was in me? Was he thinking about me, or was he thinking about
someone else?
Other people.
Yeah,
Okay.
I nearly mentioned a name, but I'm sure they'll be like, what does that name do in your head by this evening?
Okay, so let's talk about some of the things that some people insist that you do just so they can reach a certain level of pleasure for themselves. But before we get there, let's talk about your personal, not experiences, but tell me, John J. Foley, John Michael J. Foley.
Fine.
Tell me, J. Foley, what makes for a really good sexual experience for you?
Well, I'm the easygoing type, I have to set the scene, I have to set it right. It has to be right. Regardless, whatever factors we have, whatever environment we find ourselves in, we must make good use of what we have. So in case we didn't have music, and it was sunshine, whatever it is, daytime, hot sun, let's make sure that the elements around us feed into what we're doing. And I don't like to rush things, Let's tease and warm ourselves into the moment and then enjoy the best. What if it doesn't come back? So let's just make sure that the moment that we are in is best enjoyed. So get to know your body, talk, have a conversation, tease, play. Then you can get into the action. Even the action, halfway stop and let her go like, you dare not stop.
Don't you
know,
dare.
Don't you
Don't
you
don't.
dare. Like that for me gives an experience. And it's always about the respect you should have for a woman, because women are created differently and they are sort of like a pro max of men. We never, let me just go into the Bible for a few seconds. Man was put to bed when God was making man, so we really needed to see what went into it, and for whatever was put in there that was supposed to be asleep and not to see, then that means that thing was a big deal for God, not for us to see it, for man to see it. So it is for a man to discover those things, when it comes to that intimate connection you need to have with a woman. And every single woman has got that something, that code, that binary code that you, the man, have to crack. And once you crack it, she's yours forever. So I want to take that experience as, I want to make this mine. I want to make this moment mine. So allow me to search for it. And when I find it, then they say finders keepers.
Interesting. Very interesting. Afi, what makes for a very good sexual experience?
But that's aside quickies, though.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, quickies are quickies, and
really
quickies are
I just
important.
had to say that.
Quickies are important as well. Yeah.
Okay, for me personally, I'm not difficult to please. I get wet very easily. As soon as you touch my nipples, you start kissing me, I'm already like,
Yeah, but the difficulty is how to get to the nipples.
Can I read through the dress?
Yeah, so I'm not that difficult to please at all. As soon as you start touching me at the right places, my nipple, I love to kiss. I can kiss for 1 hour. I love to kiss, So if you are able to, if you're a good kisser as well, people don't know how to kiss.
True.
So yeah,
Totally
if you're able
agree.
to do that, and some people also grab on the nipple so hard, like I say, like,
Take it easy.
So gentle touch, all that, rubbing your hands in between my thighs, all that would prepare me. I get wet very easily. So when you're able to get all that and you hit the right places, you are able to get to work on the clits and all that, and I'll be fine.
You'll be fine.
Yeah.
And what?
Oh, that be me unless unya niema ni yie eno na be ma na check akra.
O de bia wo dan na chi.
Oh, yeah, what's me bibia kama dia se sia eno de enya problem kra. Yeah.
There are people who do this nonsense with, they are holding it, they don't want to come down, I say, why are you holding it?
I say he's enjoying it, so I don't want to come now.
You don't want to come
I'm enjoying it. It's kakra, no, I had to say, stop it, kakra. Now, at that time too, you are also enjoying the thing, no, I stop it. Master, why did you stop? I don't want to come.
I don't want to come.
Like, are you serious?
No.
I'm thinking about Kwame Nkrumah.
That one is different. That one is when he's realized that you've not reached orgasm. But where he's ascending to, he's almost there. So he needs to calm it so he can continue and hopefully have you come before he does.
But, for me, even if I don't come through penetration, I don't mind you using your fingers.
Okay.
So I'm okay.
Or your mouth.
No, I don't. Yeah, I have a problem with that. I think with the licking thing, whoever tried it didn't, I didn't. Yeah, so I don't.
You don't like it.
Yeah.
When we come back, you give me a little demonstration on the fingers and how they work.
Oh!
This is Duvet on GHOne TV. My name is Natalia, and I did tell you that tonight all of my guests are /sex experts. I'm sure you can tell by yourself all of the detailed. GHOne is like almost about to write a book with all the detail. Remember, we're streaming live on all our social media platforms. Be sure to like, share, comment. We're going for a quick break. Do stay tuned. All right, welcome back. This is Duvet on GHOne TV. I'm very excited about tonight because my guests are having so much more conversations behind the scenes than even when we're live. But I'm going to force it out of them now. Remember, we're live on all our social media platforms, GHOne TV, on YouTube, on Twitter, on Instagram, and on Facebook. Be sure to like, share, comment, tell everybody that Duvet is on. Now, back in the studio. So, the thesis man, the experience, and GHOne is more like...
Yet to be defined. He's in between.
He's in between. He's had, best of both worlds. But if you were telling me about using the fingers and how you prefer that, tell me about it. What is it about the fingers?
Well,
and which fingers? Give me demonstration. Let me see.
Well, it's not like I prefer it. I mean, if I don't come whilst in the act, you can use your fingers.
Which
now.
of the fingers?
Okay, so they usually use.
I want to see this.
Two.
The two middle fingers.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so they play with the clit.
Clitoris, okay.
Yes. So I think that when it comes to sex, that penetration is for the men. It's not for us women. It's not about the in and out.
Right.
It's hitting the clit.
Right.
Because I've realized I've dated, should I say fat, big, like
big
plumby.
person, yes.
Yeah. And I realized I come faster with them than a slimmer guy. Because I realized because of the flesh here,
Oh,
it's
it
able to
touches
hit
your
the
clitoris.
clit.
We the Slim Association of Ghana.
So,
I'm very
so
offended by this statement.
I recognize that with fat guys, I come faster than when the person is slimmer.
Yes, I'm
You
saying
see.
that we the
You
Slim.
never said this to me.
But
Why am I supposed to say that to you?
but you do know that women have the clitoral orgasm and then they have the proper vaginal orgasm. I mean, apparently there's another one. There's a third one.
Oh,
Clayton and Kabajana.
No, they're inside the vagina
is
orgasm.
it a G spot? Or that is also different?
That's also different.
Oh, wow.
Hey.
Yes, but women orgasm faster. I think for a lot of women, when you play with their clitoris, the possibility of getting an orgasm is really high.
Yeah, yeah.
As opposed to when you're actually penetrating.
Yes,
Even
true.
with penetrative sex, some women can have the orgasm, but that's where a lot of women are challenged because they say that they've never experienced penetrative orgasm before, ever. But with the clitoris, it's almost always, satisfaction guaranteed.
Combine the two.
How do you reckon we do that?
Okay, so I know lately, current generations like all the different styles and the helicopters and the doggies and all of that. I get it, but nothing beats good old missionary.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Now, if you're a missionary and you're not lying on a person from a 90-degree position to the body, you're able to penetrate, but you're also able to flick the clit with a finger and a nice feathery touch that will do the same thing that would have done if you were just using your fingers. So you can combine the two. And sometimes you don't even need to be banging. It's just about staying in there so you fill that up, but then you still play with the clit and have a respond to it. It gives you the same level. So sometimes you could give a person who gets orgasm from the clit penetrative sex by playing with the clit while still in them.
Yeah. And that works.
That works.
But I'm yet to come
how
to
much
you,
work we have to do.
John Michael. I know. I'm yet to come to you with what makes for a good sexual experience. For you.
For me, it's just my ability to satisfy the person and come at some point. Yeah, I mean, I'm not
You're not difficult.
I'm not a difficult person. I like to think I'm also a very generous person. but for me, the fact that we can connect to the level, so I invest a lot of time in communication with the person because I find sex to, you know how you think is spiritual? I think pleasure is psychological. And I invest a lot of time in getting a person to relax and to be themselves, because when they are that relaxed around you and comfortable in their bodies and they feel okay in it, they don't hold back. A lot of times when a woman especially doesn't feel comfortable in her body and is looking at, or you're looking at her and she's thinking, is he thinking my tummy is big? Is she thinking my this is small? That it affects the thought process, and so it contradicts with the sex. But when you get her to that place where you see her beauty, you see the beauty and even her flaws are beautiful to you, she's okay, she's relaxed, and then she lets go. And so for me, it's that fusion of communication, laughter, being in the same place, that does it for me. Yeah.
Why do you guys like spanking? What does it do for you?
I don't know. Like I said, I don't like
We
pain.
saw it on
you
TV.
don't-
I find
We saw it on
You saw it on
TV.
TV.
I find
Yeah.
people
decided
who want
that.
to be want to be spanked. You
What
see,
is that?
No,
we didn't start off wanting to spank. They were like spank me. Like you lot
Punish
started
me,
this.
Daddy, punish me.
Yeah.
Okay,
Like I mean,
so-
people want to be choked.
Oh, yes.
You know, and
Oh, yes.
yes. So
yes.
eventually we adapt to the person we are having sex with. If this is what it takes
they
to pleasure,
want,
then we do it.
especially
not
for you because you like to go with the person's flow.
Yes, but
What makes them happy is what makes you happy.
yes. See, I have a friend in Tema. She's called Amma. I had a conversation with her, and Amma said, "Jobako, the catcher will be say I like being span." I said, "Jobako, bo me." I say when he started hitting her, it was painful. And she said, "Ouch!" But she should have moved on to AJ because when he said "ouch," he thought it was pleasure. She said by the time he was done, she had wept on the whole bed, and after that was the last time she had sex with this person.
Oh, my goodness.
And I'm saying, wow, you don't tell everybody I like being spanked into umbo. It's how he understood it.
But,
How
but
he
there are
understood
guys
it.
who you tell them you don't like the spanking thing, but they like it, so they still do it.
It's because
True.
people try a
Yeah.
one-cup-fits-all approach because they've done it with somebody and they like it.
But I'm telling
they
you, I don't like
assume-
it.
Yes.
True. Okay, now you have just brought me to the next question where some people insist that there's certain things that you must do so that it helps your sexual experience. I once met someone who you definitely have to still have your shoes on
Hey.
Oh, okay.
whenever you're doing whatever you're doing. You need to have your shoes on.
It's
Like,
a fetish.
yes, don't take your shoes off, and the shoes have to be 6 inch.
Oh.
6 inch. You need to have your shoes on.
It's the porn.
You need. I
They
know.
watch
no
too
sound.
much.
I
porn.
know. I know. And so there are some people who insist on certain things. It may not be insistence as in, by hell or high waters it needs to happen, but it helps the experience for some people. I almost always want a glass of wine or a bottle of wine. A bottle, mostly. But but I mean, that it's for me, it's something that just I like it. I like it when it's part of it. The
Yeah.
experience it kind of makes it good or better for
Yeah.
me. And it goes the same for a lot of people. So I'm gonna ask for you, GHOne, what is the one thing that when it's thrown
John.
in, J Foley. What is the one thing that when it's thrown in, kind of makes it all the better for you?
Ah, right. Interesting. Wow. The thing about me is that I'm one of the very lucky people that God created. Like, like almost everything works for me.
Wow.
So
It's the same for men, isn't
Yeah,
it?
Yeah.
most
Everything
men,
works.
everything works. Look,
Yeah,
if
we
you
are
take off your
cool.
clothes, we are happy.
I mean, so far as you say yes.
Yes,
You
yes.
do it.
Consent.
We are
Yes.
fine.
Consent.
Like we are good to go. But I mean, if we were going to push push it further, then I love lingerie.
You love lingerie.
Yeah, I love lingerie.
Okay.
I even eventually I'll take it off, but it would be nice to have you in them, before you take it off. I love lingerie, and I love matching lingerie or the quite crazy ones that my partner will put on. You women have got this one that you wear that is not supposed to be lingerie because it doesn't serve the purpose of lingerie because it's already left open there. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's kind of a turn on, and I like to see it. And I'm not big on body types as well. So, it just has to be the lingerie.
But these days, the men even say they love the fupa.
Yeah, that's like I put on my Facebook and what I saw was impressive. I was like, oh wow, I thought I was in this chain alone. Whoa, high five
Is
to my
that true?
guys.
What
You know
is
what?
super?
Exactly. Listen, I had no idea. I had
Now
no.
I feel old.
I tell you what. No,
it's actually it's not a new
Allow me.
thing. Please,
no.
please go on and explain it.
So I never knew about FUPA until one day I was just having a conversation on socials about sex, and I chanced upon the word FUPA. So they call it fatty upper. Well, the P I just converted here, but fatty upper pelvic area. Okay, so some women have got a bit of
Yeah.
a bulging
Okay.
tummy, on the
Yeah.
lower part. That automatically gives them some nice cuts on the V and the thigh. Yeah, so that FUPA, that they call it FUPA.
Hey.
Oh.
I tell you what, I had no idea. You should check.
After you didn't know about
There's
it?
a
We are old.
particular picture. There's a particular picture that's
Yeah,
trending with
yeah.
FUPA. put it on your.
Yeah.
I dare you. Want numbers?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
You want numbers?
Apparently, it's a thing
Put
for
that
for
photo
men.
on your Twitter or
It's a thing for
Facebook,
men.
wherever, and ask.
Send it to me after.
Man, it's all
But
over.
is
It's not what we have done.
is this something that you? But okay, because you said this already, you really don't. None of that matters to you as long as the woman is comfortable.
Yes.
And is herself. Nothing else
But
matters.
I also don't like clothed sex.
What do you mean clothed sex?
I like body contact.
Like full
I
naked.
I don't
But
even
people
do half
have
assassinate.
sex wearing clothes.
I don't even do half
Yeah, some
assassinate.
people do.
Like people want to part the pants and do
Yeah,
stuff. I don't
take it
want. I
aside.
want everything off. I like everything off. So you can. I don't. I love lingerie. I like to look at it. I like lingerie for the teasing, for the games.
Well, maybe
But-
this might help
Before
him say
the
yes or
match.
no.
But it needs to come off.
Have you passed this on?
Yeah, maybe he might say that. That's so.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I'm sure maybe production might put that on the
Yeah.
screen later
Yeah,
on.
production is
Oh.
gonna put this
Oh
on.
yeah.
So you see the fupa?
I've seen the.
Yeah,
You
that's
like
the
it?
Fupa.
You like it?
I mean, looks like someone that should be in the gym. Look like she should be in the gym, but it's alright.
Oh yeah, but because John Michael's a gym
Yeah, I
enthusiast.
love the gym.
He's been trying to get me to the gym for the longest. And I said, come and pick me from my house. He says, if I do,
But I told
if
you-
I pick
look,
you up, you will be
Jay Foley.
lazy, and you always want me to pick you up.
Jay Foley, I go to Fitness One gym. It is just around the corner from here.
Yes.
It's 24 hours. What excuse do you possibly have for
Pick
why
me
you
up.
would go and then you tell me
Just
every day,
pick me
or
up.
pick me up? I don't live in your area
the
anymore. We
excuse.
used to
That's
live
the
in the
excuse
area.
to say
We
that
moved.
you know what I'll pass. I'll pass.
Okay, Afi, is there something that when it's thrown into the experience, it makes it better for you?
There was once I experienced, but that has been so long ago. I haven't had anyone to, initiate that. So this guy, when I was in Takoradi Polytechnic, I had a guy who would use ice, so he bought ice cubes, bought, is it an ice cream? So
Yeah.
he poured it on me and was licking, used the cubes on my nipple. It felt really
been busy.
good.
It is
She's
good.
been very
It is
busy.
Like, forget the Ghana economy.
Yes, and I'm
fine.
told that
Oh my
the
God.
people, when the ice is put in the mouth of a person, and they blow
You know,
the
the hot
cold
and cold.
on parts of your body. it's-
Yeah.
Oh, you should see
Yeah, that day.
when the ice becomes
Yeah.
all smooth and it's pushed inside you.
Oh my goodness.
It's beauty.
Wow.
Interesting stuff.
Whoa. It was nice, and I've never experienced that
Again,
before. Yeah.
But why
Again,
have you
like
not
after.
communicated that to any of the men of Tur to say that this is something I like?
I think I once communicated. I told one of my exes that one day we should try something like that because I've tried it before and it was nice, but we didn't end up being, together for long. So yeah.
he was probably thinking you want to do pornography.
So one thing that also came to me on one of the episodes on Duvet is an experience from a married woman who clearly was bored out of her mind with the kind of sex that her husband would have with her. So she had watched a couple of things and made a suggestion in the middle of sex, initiated something, and apparently the first thing that her husband said is, "Na ashawo moves, babe."
Obi kwa baby said that now starting way.
Who goes
Now
here?
wait for you.
Who goes here?
And it's a bit of a problem. Clearly,
Yeah.
Sex is not, we're not taught in schools or anywhere.
Yeah.
It's experience,
Yeah.
you learn from experience.
Practice makes perfect.
Yeah.
And then also
Yeah.
you watch some pornography. But how easy or difficult is it? Because I've also had somebody say, one of my girlfriends say that anytime her man makes a new move, it means he's been elsewhere.
Oh. Oh.
And I see that's a bit of a problem for people. At what point can you initiate something new? Should you have a discussion or should you surprise the person with it? Like, how do you handle that so they don't feel weirded out by it?
I
John
think
Michael,
you
I
should,
think
you should discuss it because when you just bring it up during it
Sex.
makes it because the person is not used
Suspect.
to that. Yeah, the person is not used to that. So you should
agree with your
you
friend.
should you should discuss it. My
so what do you
dear,
say?
I want us to try something new. It's not like a never.
Yeah, but you see that whole concept of sometimes teasing your partner and
Right.
hyping him or preparing their minds for
Right.
or sending like new pictures to him at work and suddenly
Okay.
wife here and they may blow away. Like you want to hide your
Right.
mind. So what is she coming with? And then
Yeah.
get out of that box. But you see, these things don't happen in isolation. It only becomes a problem when you started and you maintained or sustained boring sex, did the same things over and over again, which is why it's a problem. But if you started out unleashing yourself onto this person, showing the person your open-mindedness, they become used to you being that way. So it never shocks them when you try something new. But anybody in their right state of mind would wonder if I've been married to you for 10 years. This is how we've always had sex.
And then one day,
especially if I travel and I come back, and we are going to have sex, and dog, you've done some moves, and I'm that thing. You see, in the moment, the shock will stop you in your tracks. You're thinking, now, but this isn't you. Then you start, then the mind goes somewhere.
Now, where's the free?
I know, right?
So it's not even that way I shall, but it's just about, but I know this person. They don't have sex this way. Why are they now having sex this way?
So
is somebody else in the picture?
Is it always to say that they've been elsewhere?
A lot of times, especially when you've been consistent for a long time, a person will be forced to feel like, no, maybe she's probably tried it with somebody or is doing somebody else.
And
like it's human nature.
Yeah.
So typically, you kiss me a little, maybe suck on my nipples a little, and then
usually
okay, so I'm going somewhere. So typically, kiss me, suck on my nipples, bend me over for a few 2 minutes, then we do, I don't know, maybe a reverse cowgirl, and we're done. And this is us in our sex lives. Because I find that the way people have sex usually is like the same way or the same things. So it becomes routine. When I'm about to have sex with you, is you're kissing me first, you're going down, you're bending me, and see, that is what we know or we've known. So if one day you don't bend me over and you do something else
different,
it's like, oh my God, what is going on?
Look, I have this friend who has said to her husband that she has a fetish about having a threesome with him, and not just anybody, and a Japanese man.
Okay.
Right? She's had this conversation. The day they go somewhere and she turns up with a Japanese man, he's not going to think what has come over you, because she has expressed to him time back that this is a fetish I have and we are going to do this at some point. So the day they go to Japan, in her head, say, have been him say, Japanese threesome. So when she turns up at the hotel or when they go out and she starts chatting with a Japanese man, he knows where it is headed. No surprises there. But it is the importance of communication.
Exactly.
Do you talk to your partner? Do they know the thoughts that go through your head? Do they know that you want to try? What can now they could see new moves? You know, I have a sister who I traveled with sometime, and she was hunched over her phone, and then her friend said, you know, but she's learning from it. You know what I mean? And this is just it, that people need to know you for who you are, and then you avert the surprises.
Right. But you also don't want to be a one-trick pony.
But
You have to.
I think it is also the physique of the man or the woman that will determine what kind of position that you two would want to explore. Usually, I feel like that informs what you want to do, because I mean, just imagine you have this real plus size woman and you are this stick, you are just skinny guy, and you want her to sit on you. You know, I see the reaction. So the body shape and types might and may inform.
You should go on YouTube and find a video that says "baby roll over." It's a Jamaican song.
Check it out. Yeah. You know,
she fell asleep on him, man.
You know, so it would definitely be informed by also, you know, the shape and size, the physique of the partner. Then you know what to do, because equally, if you have a guy well built, masculine, and you have, you know, a girl who might not be that you might want to be very careful what you do to her, because you can inflict, you know, injury and all that. So you just have to find a way to go around it.
And that requires being reasonable. So
being
you can't
reasonable.
find that a guy picked up his size 8 girl and was having sex with, and then you decide that at the size 22 he should pick you up as well and do the same thing.
True. Very, very true.
And I also think that communication, like he said, is very important, because once in a while, even not at a time when you are having the sex. Once a while, whilst you are chatting, you should bring up some of these topics to talk about.
Yes.
I remember asking my boyfriend, so what does he sometimes fantasize when it comes to sex? Because I've heard a lot about men fantasizing about threesomes. So does he? He was like, oh no, me, nah.
Oh,
Are you sure? Oh no. But I hear most guys
think about
would
it.
love to do something like that. They think
That
about
thing,
So,
it
but-
is only initially, but it is work. You see, when you've not had some before, you think, oh, wow, this will be divine. But trust me, it is work. Like me, maybe I'm hitting that point in my life where I really can't be asked, but I feel like, say, Ube, you see me. Like, maybe you want, say, Nipa me, no. One person is enough, Nipa me, Nipa me, so it is work. It's work that I feel if I do, then offer me money. You are paying me for it. Then I understand I'm working. But
Is it
that's,
something that you've tried?
oh, I definitely have.
Okay.
I've had a very open-minded sex life most of my life.
Okay.
And so, yes, I have tried it. But then after a while, I just felt like this is
After
work.
a while, it was a couple of times.
Yes, and I felt like this is work, and I feel like it's drained me for half of the day. I'm in and out of sleep, and I felt like it's my baby. It's my
People want to be your shoes.
Yeah, so now I'm at that point in my life where if someone offered me a threesome, it would be what's in it for me, because I feel like you are going to use me.
Right.
This
I
is
feel
why.
So
because
how
a lot
far
of
should our
people-
fantasies go? When it comes to fantasies that we have, sexual fantasies that we have, how far can they go?
Rome, isn't it? to meet the empire.
But how far can they go, John?
Well,
Foley.
I think that you have just but one life. Rightly said, you'll only live once. And why would you want to die and not experience what? It's just at certain point in time, maybe when you cross over to certain places and certain times in your life, those restrictions are put in place. But if you have the opportunity, explore it. I mean, hey, try.
All die, we die.
All die, we die.
Explore it.
I do
Like-
remember my final years, my final days in K University. I had never gotten drunk before. I said I cannot leave university without having a story of getting drunk. So I got drunk. Controlled drunkenness. My friends were around to take care of
But
me.
you don't drink.
That's the whole idea. Get it? So, experience it and do it and then move on to another.
And you haven't drunk ever since.
Oh, I mean, occasional,
Okay.
drinker. But I mean, getting drunk like you can't find your way
You
home.
don't drink. I don't drink neither.
I mean, I would take alcohol. I do take alcohol, but I'm talking about drunkenness, as in
me
like
zero.
completely. Yeah. So,
Zero alcohol.
you might want to just try it and then have the experience and
Yeah.
move on. If it happens,
I
it
know.
happens.
Experience.
Everybody
Experience.
gives me that look when they find
the thing
that
is
I
that
don't
for a
drink.
man,
So
look,
what do you do when you're at the clubs and stuff like that?
I'm on a natural high. I'm the enjoyment president. I live my life to the fullest. So I take pleasure in watching people have a good time, dancing. Like, it's everything for me. I don't require alcohol. I don't require weed. Nothing to be on a high. I'm always high.
Designated driver.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to go on a break. We're going to take our sex position of the week. This is Duvet on GHOne TV tonight. I'm with Jay Foley, I'm with Afi Antonio, and then I am with John Michael. We're talking about sex, pleasure, and what makes it all the better. Do stay tuned. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back. This is Duvet, your favorite late night show on GH1 television. My name is Natalia. Allow me to shout out Maranasi Clothing. On IG, you can find them at Maranasi Clothing GH for my beautiful outfit tonight. And in the studio, we're talking about the worst experiences, sexual experiences, or the worst things that ever happened during sex.
Harry.
Yeah, the worst things. I hear lots of things have happened before. People throwing up, people, somebody once said,
ease themselves.
somebody threw up on me. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
That would be
Somebody.
so nasty.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. So many.
But you will still finish.
You still finish?
Yeah, you still finish.
Are you sure?
How are
Yeah,
you finishing that?
sometimes, depending on where you've reached, you just
No,
have
but also, John Michael, depends on what she ate. Depends on what she ate that she threw up.
Yeah.
But half the people I know who clear them finish.
See, you need to understand the make of a man. You understand? Like it is completion.
Gotta get the job
We
done.
have to finish. It
Blue
may
Cross
have
is not friendly.
Yeah, it may have taken us a long time to get this person. So if we are there, then make sure it's done. We'll think of the nasty things afterwards. When we go back
Okay,
home,
so
we'll
let's
think
talk about it, John, for you. In your experience, is there anything that happened? People fought. So many things. Like, what's the worst?
Worst experience. I think it's me, not her.
You farted.
No, I didn't fight. I didn't fight. I wish because then that would have ended it because I needed it to end. It was. I wasn't moved by the intimacy, so I didn't get it hard on. I was just off. And it was a lot of questions being asked between the two of us, whether so you don't fancy me or so you don't like me or that kind of stuff, stuff like that. But it was none of.
Wouldn't that be weird though?
It was just a
Aki?
state of
Has
mind.
that ever happened to you?
What, she didn't get a hard on?
No. that she's with a man who doesn't get a hard on. Wouldn't that be a bit weird?
It was a
I'll
one-off.
feel
It was a
really
one-off.
terrible.
Yeah, it was just me and where the state of mind.
Yeah, you were not feeling it.
Yeah,
you were not
wasn't there.
feeling her.
No, not her. I wasn't in the room.
You were not feeling her.
I
Kind of
wasn't
crazy.
in
His
the
mind
room.
wasn't in that place. He
I wasn't
could be
in that
feeling her.
place.
But
as
who
if he
started the
wanted
whole
to.
thing? You were there because of that? Or
Yeah.
it just
Yeah,
happened?
but it's the power of the mind.
So
Because I
basically,
don't
y'all
get it.
just seen it like we met up to have sex and I didn't.
Yeah, kind of.
No, it wasn't sex. Wasn't there?
Okay.
The objective
purpose
of the
meeting.
meeting.
Right.
Yeah, but the woman just called for it. But I just wasn't in that space, and that's for me. I have so much self-control with that. So equally I can let go, equally I can just shut myself. And
Right.
no matter what you do,
So you were not feeling her.
not feeling her, not feeling it, the
Not
whole
feeling the vibe.
that day. Yeah, but afterwards it's
Interesting.
been. There were a lot of sex, but
Yeah.
then
With
that
her?
day, yes, but that day just wasn't me, and
Right.
I was just off.
But that would be, I would feel
Yeah.
a bit.
A man will always want to, if the woman is
Yes.
willing and all. So how come?
So that's the thing. So
So John Michael, tell me something. It's a thing that I've heard a couple of men talk about, that every once in a while you just have an off switch. And it's not because you don't fancy the girl, it's none of that. It's just an off switch. Like,
Yeah.
today is an off day.
I've had that. Actually, he said once. I've had it maybe 3-4 times at different points. It's just that you don't want to. And sometimes it's even about the put-off conversation. And you again, then the person that said something. So I have this friend. He was actually one of the Wanderlust guys of Kojosaka. He made a post where he said, try and interpret the picture. Was this before or after? I looked at it and I said, no, they didn't have sex. He said, but there's a condom on the floor. I said, if you look, you see there's no sperm in it. They didn't have sex. He said, how do I do? I said, they were going to have sex. They planned to have sex. She probably said something dumb like, oh, I lost my phone. And then he realized
need a new phone.
if I go through with this, by the time I'm done, I'll be buying phone. All of a sudden, everything is gone off. All the switch is gone off.
What
Then
kind of
whatever you do.
conversations? What kind of conversations will kill your mojo or your heart on? You would respond to that after the commercial break. This is Duvet on GHOne TV. Do stay tuned. So John Michael was going to explain to me how this works. As in, does a man get the hard on and then loses it and
Yes.
decides that, Natalia, today you're not worth my hard on?
So he started off, mood was right, everything was right.
Yeah.
And then when you should be moving on to the next phase or something, then you come up with some stupid question which has to do with problems. So this is the point this person wants to talk about the problems in her life, things that are going wrong. And a lot of times, this isn't the time. Finish and let's talk. But it's almost like they feel like in your moment of vulnerability, they can
Use
manipulate
it,
you at best.
yeah.
So that is the time, and that is a put
and
off.
that's something you should talk about, weaponizing sex.
Yes, yes.
against
This
men.
is exactly what it is.
And then the second
weaponizing
you
sex.
weaponize it, I mean, for me, like
Yes,
it's that's the end.
Back in the day, you find that because a guy really wants to, but lately, sex hasn't been about the most important, the most expensive thing, and it's not that deep. And so you will find that you start along that tangent, he will put on his drawers and walk away.
Yeah.
And that is it. Because after the mind switches off,
That's it.
it's almost impossible to get it to get back up. At that point, you don't want to, you're not interested. The feeling is gone.
See,
It could be
Wow.
it could be emotions, it could be problems, it could be money. But at that point when a person wants to have sex, if you bring a problem to them, it will kill the vibe, and that is it.
So it's true what they say that for a lot of people, well, not a lot of people, it's not statistically based, but some people do complain that when a couple has been in a marriage for a very long time, and especially at a time when they are facing problems, losing parents,
Yes.
financial situations, people can go years without touching each other because
Yes.
it's just not there.
Yes.
Because there are too many problems and we just can't find it.
Yes, and
can't
it's not
find
even
a
because they
reason.
don't love each other. They still love each other. It's just that, you see, sex, like everything else, stems from the mind. The mind controls
Yeah,
everything you do. And if
exactly.
your mind is not in the right place, nothing works.
Exactly.
However, it will be easy for any of them to have sex with another person because they don't come with the problem.
Yes,
Yeah,
it's about
exactly.
bringing the baggage
Exactly.
into the relationship between
Right.
the two. So another person could be used as an outlet for
Right.
whatever they're going through at that point in time. Mind you, this could happen while they still love you. They still love you. They don't love you
Yeah.
any less, but they need
An outlet.
an outlet.
Yeah.
Which is very
For
interesting.
me, if we have an issue, we've not trashed it out, and you just want to use sex to, a lot of guys do that.
Yes.
We have issues, we are supposed to sit and talk about it and move on. But you feel, Charlie, and I do or baby, settle. There's no way I'm going to allow you to have sex with me when we have issues. Because emotionally, I'm not there. Unless you want me to lie there like a log of wood for you to do whatever it is you want to do. But if I have to participate, we need to talk about the problem, find solutions, and then we can, crown it with a sex.
Get it out
You
of
knew
the
it was
way.
going to be difficult to be able to get to her. In the beginning,
Yeah,
I said
you
it.
said it.
She loves everything, but to get to her, you have
Crossing
to work
over is a problem.
You have to work for it. And I mean, the penis has a mind of its own, you understand?
Yeah.
And I keep saying that once the penis mind takes over the man himself doesn't have control over it any longer. You just sort of switch. If the penis, sorry to say, the penis says no, I don't want to do it today. Forget.
Yeah.
There's
No,
nothing you can do.
Nothing you can
nothing
do.
you do.
But some
Okay,
get there.
so
anxiety causes that as well.
a lot of
Yes,
anxiety.
Because
very
my,
much.
my boyfriend
Yeah.
had that the first time we had sex, like
Mm-hmm.
he was so anxious because that was the first
the
time we were
day he
going to
just-
have it
yeah.
and all that. Like he couldn't wait. And then we started, nah. Then he was like, oh, why? What is happening? He got soft. Like, he says, I think,
And
I
once you
think I'm
panic,
getting
that
anxious.
is it.
Like,
Once you panic, you're like,
yeah,
that is
he
it.
was
That's
so
more relaxed.
Okay,
anxious.
so we're
yeah.
going to take our sex position of the week. To stay tuned. Sex position of the week. The crying out position. This is sex at its most intimate. She nestles herself on his lap and rests her legs on his forearms. Then both of you can abandon yourselves to a slow and heartfelt kiss. For extra tenderness, try occasionally pulling away and gazing deeply into each other's eyes. For her, she can lift her chin and tip her head back while he plants feather-light kisses along the side of her neck. Another way for him to show affection is to thread his fingers through her hair so she can rest her head on his palms as they kiss. For both, although movement is a little restricted in this position, you can enjoy the sensuality of being so intimately connected. But if you need more hard and fast stimulation, he can easily lie down on his back so she can get into the pair of tongs position. It's sensual because you feel enclosed inside a bubble, both emotionally and physically. Your hands are free to stroke and caress each other, and the combination of your lips locked in a kiss while his penis is deeply enclosed inside her feels sublime to both partners.
All right, welcome back. You saw the crying out position. We're just having a good laugh in the studio. Now, let's talk about when the relationship gets to a point where we cannot find a reason to be attracted enough to each other so we can have sex. All the problems are overwhelming us, so there's no room for sex anymore. John Michael, you mentioned an outlet, which shouldn't necessarily be another person all the time. But what other things can we look at or look into when your relationship clearly is suffering because you're not having any sex, too many problems are drowning the relationship? What can you possibly do?
Okay. So just for the record, you said not necessarily another person, but sometimes it requires another person. I've never really been a very monogamous person anyway, so I feel it is only normal when sometimes people are drawn to other people, and that is okay. If that is what it takes for you to get out of that phase, then that is what you're going to have to do. Others who put their energy into, say, humanitarian work. Yeah, humanitarian work. Some people want to go out, touch lives, do things, and that takes their mind off what is going on. But you need to know you enough to find what it takes for you to get to a good place, because ultimately your mental health is important. It trumps everything. And so if you're in a place where you don't feel like you're in a good place, you need to rediscover yourself, reinvent yourself, sometimes you need to lose your way to find your way back, and it is what it is.
Right. So in this case, is this something you're doing with your partner? Because it's the two of us. If you and I are in a marriage, relationship, whatever, and too many things are drowning the relationship, so much so that we just are not even attracted to each other enough to have sex. And I go and start doing humanitarian work. How does that help?
So what it's doing is giving you space to put things into perspective.
Right.
So you're not running away from the problem, but you're taking time out to find you. Now, in my line of work as a social worker, also as a counselor, getting to talk to people, I find that people go through all sorts of issues, right? But the underlying problem with most of the issues is the inability to communicate. When people don't communicate with their spouses, it is constantly a problem because you're having problems. Are you talking about these problems? Or are you talking to other people about the problems and leaving out the person who matters the most in the equation? So you'd find, you're talking to your pastor, you're talking to your Bible class leader, you're talking to your best friend. Are you talking to your spouse? Because however much people think they know about problems, they don't know about your problem, because it's about two different people, two different characters. So it's the same situation here will be different here because the characters involved are different. But when you can't communicate with the person that you are with, that is your primary problem, because you can't work through anything whilst there's no communication. And once communication breaks down, sex is communication. Kissing is communication. Playing about, smacking the bum, doing stuff, it's all communication. And if you can't communicate with the person you're with, how in heaven's name are you going to be sleeping with them?
Right. So, Afi, what are some of the things that you think a couple can do when they are drowning?
I think the key thing is communication. You need to talk about the issue. For me, communication is big. For me. So I keep saying, if you are not a good communicator, you have an issue with me. I like to talk about everything. So if there's an issue, let's talk about it. Let's not sweep it under the carpet and hope that time will take it off. It will never go off. It's still here. So we need to talk about it and move on and find ways of, patching and, moving on.
John,
that's the key.
Anything you think can help a couple in the... J. Foley. J. Foley. Gosh, we practiced this before the show.
Just add the Foley to the John. When you say John Foley.
That's right. Anyway, so it's, for me, one of the things might be, want to change your environment, and the space you are in. Breathe new air, see new people, discover new places. Just add a new sting of just some pepper to your relationship, you know. And it boils down to things like, look, you've been in the same house with a woman for 15 years. You've seen her nakedness. And women also do this all the time because they get very used to you. They kind of now want to show you. They feel like this is me. Take me as I am. I'm not taking you as you are. I didn't see you like this when I didn't like you when you're like this. If I probably see you when you're like this, I would think again. But
I wouldn't have gotten with you.
Yes, I put it here. So it is the response. I keep saying this thing. Look, it may come off as hard on women, but it is your responsibility to make sure you keep fit and you keep in shape as you grow. You would gain. You'd grow old. Your belly, put maybe 1 or 2 kids, you might, have the bulging tummy, but you have to work on it. You have to try and keep yourself in that space where your man would want you. I say men, not all men though. I shouldn't say it's for all men. Some men don't want this. They want her friend. If you give me her friend, I want her friend, and I want her friend. We are never satisfied.
Yeah.
So a woman would always want to try and keep herself as the next woman. How do you do that? I mean, even in the house. Look, after showing your nakedness for 15 years, start putting on skimpy clothes. Tease him. Work on his subconscious. You find ways to go about it. There's 1,001 ways to go about it. I just say that the woman will send, "Hi baby, your food is ready. Hi baby, hurry up and come home for dinner tonight." The other girl will say, "Hey love, I want to fuck you tonight. Come over." The man takes his phone and is reading 2 different messages.
Yeah.
Wife is trying to be, or partner is trying to be all
Caring.
I love you.
Your favorite food.
I don't want to eat. Yeah, who says I was hungry?
Today I made your favorite
food.
meal.
I keep saying the way to my heart is not my stomach. Don't try. I won't eat. You understand? It won't work for me. So find ways to just inject a new feeling into the relationship. Either by changing the environment, changing the language. Don't overdo it by trying to put on too much and everything. But maybe don't even let him see you make up. Appear, come to him fresh. Things that would enhance. And it goes vice versa for the men as well. After a while, because when a woman goes away, she's gone for good. It'll be very hard to bring her back. Look, a woman can decide to go with a guy who has nothing. Mm-hmm. And you can have everything in the world that the other guy has nothing, and still gets your woman. So you have to listen to the rhythm of the relationship, and find a way of, sometimes make her jealous. Turn her down a little bit. Just find a way of letting her feel like, I must work to get you. And once you hit on that jealousy note for both man and woman, oh my days, you are in front seat. You are driving it. She will chase
front
after
row.
Yeah.
John Michael.
There's this movie, Godfather, has a part of Godfather that says the thing about marrying your dream girl is she becomes real. It is when you saw her and you idolized her and you thought, oh wow, she doesn't poo, she doesn't snore, and then she doesn't do all these things that every other girl does, and then you marry them and you realize, oh, so they sleep and they drool and they wake up with whites around their mouth, or they snore at night, or they poo and stink up the whole place, and they suddenly become a real human being to you. But it plugs into what he's saying as well, which is to keep on presenting your best self. There's a song I really love that says, "Don't go changing, trying to please me." Like it talks about everything. Don't change the color of your hair. Don't do this. We like consistency, but we want consistency in the best form. So he hit on an outlet that I love, and I love the gym. So gym dictates what I do. Like if I was happy, I want to run, I want to do stuff. If I watched politicians or read something on them chopping some money or doing something, and I'm upset, I like to punch the boxing sack and pretend it's their face when they do stuff. But it tells on my body, I get results in it. Now, a lot of people get comfortable after they get married to, now he's mine or she's mine. I've seen women in the gym that are working hard and they hit in the gym 2 hours. You realize that they're looking for something. I've seen men do the same. I've seen bodies transform over the period, because sometimes your partner may not even notice when you start, and then one day you wear something and they look at you and they're thinking, damn. Like, then they see that person they first met, that person they were drawn to, that person they were attracted to, and you take it for granted. But it's about how much does your relationship mean to you? How much are you prepared to give to get back what you had? And so it is a good thing if you can put your energy or your outlet become something that makes you better, and then you're in a good place either way. Because if he doesn't see you when you are in your best form, someone else will. Either way, you don't lose out.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
1 month's meat, they say.
Another month.
Okay, so GHOne Michael, we're wrapping up. I want your last words, and I also want you to tell us where we can find you. You do social work a lot. Where can people find you? Do you have any projects coming up that we need to be aware of so we can, talk about it or something? All of that in one.
So if you're going to find me most places where there's enjoyment. Especially on Friday, you find me at Soho. You know, I live in Soho. Either I'm in Soho, I'm in White Restaurant or Sunken Garden. But I like my fun. With work, I move about a lot because I consult for different projects. But a lot of my life is tied between my Rotary Club and humanitarian projects. It's tied between my enjoyment life. I do carnivals. I work on the Notting Hill Carnival in London. We're trying to bring carnival to Ghana, so you have all of that going on as well. But most of the time, because I'm always in a happy place, I'm in places that make me happy. So those are the kind of places you
Social
find
media?
me. I'm just GHOne Michael. On Facebook, on Instagram, Snapchat, everything is still GHOne Michael.
GHOne Michael.
Yes.
Okay, so wrap up for us. Our conversation tonight about what makes for the best sexual experience. In wrapping up, what do you say?
In wrapping up, what I will say is what makes for the best sexual experience basically is finding someone you understand who understands you, finding someone you can fuse with and be in a good place. And so however you end up satisfied, that is your good place.
Okay, great. Afi?
Yeah.
Yes, we're wrapping up.
Yeah.
We want to know what your last words are. And also if you have any things coming up that we need to be aware of.
Okay, so my last words will be that in a relationship, communication is really important. So if there's something going on you are not loving, you should be able to talk about it. That's the only way you'll be able to experience whatever it is you want out of that person. So you need to communicate. Let your partner know what you love, where he touches that it moves you and all that. Communication is key. So that's what I have to say. And then with projects, I'm planning to try and release some mothers who have newborn babies and are unable to pay their bills. I'm planning on maybe releasing about 5 of them. So I'm now putting things together. I'm thinking of going to 37 Military Hospital because I've never done anything there before. It has always been Kolebu and Rage once in a while. So I was born in 37, so I want to go and do something there and pay bills for mothers who have children and are unable to, pay their bills. I want to do something like that, for my foundation this year. And also there's a trip that I'm planning, but they can go on my Facebook, Instagram, and check it out. On 21st September, it's a holiday. You can join me so we experience Volta together. It's going to be a return trip and it's going to be fun. So for all the information, go on my social media handles at Afi Antonio. TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, everywhere at Afi Antonio you find.
Absolutely. And I have to say you're doing amazing stuff with your foundation.
Thank you.
I'm following all the time. I'm like, gosh, where do you find the strength? Carrying the
Especially
babies.
the work with autistic kids.
Carrying the babies and the communication you have with, I really appreciate you. You're doing God's work.
Yeah.
Clearly, that's what GHOne Michael meant when he said that if the relationship is going bad, go and do social work. Did it start there for you?
No.
Okay, John.
Jay.
So, Jay. Okay,
So,
Jay Foley. In wrapping up.
I mean, I just, in part of God's work as well, men, they say that it's almost scientifically proven that a lot of sex will help deal with prostate cancer. So men have more sex out there, you understand? Just women, give it to your man as often as possible, at least twice a day. Just like how you brush your teeth morning and evening. You know, if you
Twice a
can,
day.
4 times a week or 6
Oh my
times a
God.
week, you know. So just
What
help
you
your
been
man.
drinking?
That's
He's
one.
smoking something.
He's on something.
That's one. And number two, I say that, you know, the most years I say sex is a journey. It's like, you know, it's like a lollipop with a candy with a little sweet spot in the middle. Take your time, enjoy it, and then it'll get to the sweet spot. You know, no rush in sex. Just take your time with your woman or whichever woman you are with and enjoy it. And find that satisfaction discover that satisfaction that you have no idea it's living in you. For projects, 2 things. Date will almost be secured, but it is either on the 20th or the 21st of September. You know, there's been a conversation around, for those of us who do voiceovers, for many years, since I started doing this job for about the past 17 years or so, we've never really had an industry or a moment just to come together and talk about our business. And lately, I see a lot of people now being vocal and being very outward about promoting themselves as voice-over artists. So on either the 21st or the 20th, date to be set, but check my socials. We are having a VO Connect 2023, a voice-over connect for stakeholders in the space, clients, client service departments, radio stations, agencies, voice artists, prospective voice artists. We are all meeting. The details will be on my socials when we start running the information out there. So we're all meeting to start having a stakeholder conversation on how we can make money from our business, and that's one. And number 2, watch out, same day as well, 21st of September, leaked my audio series, first of its kind. No, not first of its kind, I shouldn't say. There were others before I did, but yeah, Leagues is an audio series that touches on sexual abuse and gender inequality, sort of, as well, and rape against women. You should listen to it on YouTube at Trap TV. Go and check it out. We are releasing the next season on the 21st, and that's all we're about.
All right, so thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for coming on Duvet. I've really enjoyed you, all of you. So I'm going to end by, you know, what Jay Foley said. When you have a lollipop, you don't just bite into it and start chewing on it. Take it easy and just keep licking, and you would definitely get to the sweet spot. So this is where we bring Duvet to a close. So help us God, we're coming your way again next week, same time, 10 p.m. on Saturday. Enjoy your night. My name is Natalia. Good night.